scalding hot tea. What is up, you guys? Welcome to the video. So today I am honestly just gonna give you a hot take. That's pretty much what today's video is. So there's been a little bit of controversy in this past week, and it seems like the hot topic to talk about right now are EDM drive-in events. Obviously 2020 did not pan out the way we wanted it to as EDM fans. We haven't had any festivals since February of this year, but event producers have been able to adapt and throw these drive-in raves across the United States. So I personally have not attended a drive-in rave yet. There haven't really been that many in the New York, New Jersey area, but in today's video, I'm just gonna give you my honest thoughts and opinions on these events. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So I first wanted to start out with reviews of drive-in events because again, I have not attended one myself, but I have talked to plenty of friends and I've watched people's videos and vlogs of the events that they've attended this year. My good friend Vibe with Aid has a vlog of her experience, and my friends Andrew and Jose traveled to Texas for the same event as well, and there's a video on the Lunchbox Fans YouTube channel if you guys want to watch that. So as with any event, there are pros and cons. I've heard really good things. Of course, we're grateful just to have these events, period. So I think everyone's pretty grateful to even have the opportunity to go to a live event. We obviously don't have festivals right now, so to go see one of your favorite DJs, even if you're sitting in a car and you're really far away from the stage, it's just, you feel blessed to be there. And I feel like this is just a moment in history, right? Like, we may not see these again when large-scale events come back. So to say that you got to go to some of these drive-in raves in 2020, I feel like is a really special opportunity. I also have heard mixed reviews depending on where your spot is at the event. So if you pay more money for your ticket, you'll obviously be closer to the stage in the front, or you can go much further back. And that's the one kicker for me. I feel like if you're all the way in the back and you have to tune into the radio and listen and you can't even see the performance and you can't really hear it yourselves, I'm not sure how I feel about that. So I do think it's tricky because you can't get that close to the stage. It's a limited amount of spots, especially when all the cars are supposed to be spaced out between 6 feet. However, I just think the energy of being at a live music event is what's amazing. Like the videos I've seen, it's really cool to see the community coming together and people are still getting dressed up and bringing flow toys and kind of vibing out with the cars around them. So I do think the excitement of the EDM community is still very much alive at these shows. However, let's talk about some cons. Do I think that these events are safe? Obviously, I think it just depends on the individuals, and I feel like it depends on the event producers. They are the ones who are putting the health and safety protocols in place that everyone is supposed to follow. They're also the ones who are patrolling, so they need to have the security there really telling people when they are and are not following the rules. So that side definitely falls under the responsibility of the event producer. And on the flip side, I've seen all kinds of different things coming out from people's individual social media platforms. I think some people, of course, are following the rules better than others, and it also depends on the state you're in, right? In a lot of places, you are allowed to have a certain amount of people in a group together outdoors, and I know that wearing masks is obviously encouraged, especially in one of these scenarios where people, again, are traveling in from other places. Some people are flying in. You really don't know when and where somebody could potentially get sick with COVID. So you do just really have to be mindful that you don't know where people have been before coming to the event. So I think personally, if you are driving to the event, like if it's more local to you and you're going with people you know, and if you guys went the extra mile and got tested before the event, I think that's the perfect scenario. Me, myself, I'm not comfortable traveling by an airplane right now. That's my own personal opinion. I know friends who have flown into events and one of the groups got sick, and when they all came home, the entire group tested positive for COVID, and that was after the event in Texas. So take with that what you will. Some of them showed symptoms and some of them didn't, and they definitely think that they got it while traveling. I do think these are safe though, if you guys just stick to the rules and follow the guidelines. I mean, the whole point of it is it's supposed to be a socially distanced show. So if you go and you stay in your spot and you hang out with the crew that you came with and you guys wear your masks when you're walking around to the bathroom and things like that, then I think you're good to go. I think that these shows honestly are a great solution to having live events right now. However, if you come to a drive-in event, in my opinion, and you are walking around you're planning meetups, you're leaving your spot and you're going around hugging people. I personally don't think that's safe, and I feel like that's defeating the entire purpose of these events. If you and the other person are both wearing a mask, great. I obviously think that's the safest scenario here. But again, I just really think if you're gonna attend one of these events, to make sure that we can have shows come back sooner and we don't get any of these drive-in raves canceled in the future, just follow the rules, stick to your car, and don't be hanging out with other people you didn't come with. Don't be walking around, don't plan any meetups. I just think that all those things are a little bit unnecessary. And the same thing goes with the group that you're going with. If you are meeting up with people, again, all traveling in to go to a drive-in event together, you're running the exact same risk that my friends ran into when they got sick via traveling. So unless you guys are all getting tested beforehand and getting tested after, I think it gets a little bit risky versus just driving into an event with friends that you are with locally. I think at the end of the day, be a good person, set an example for others, follow the rules and guidelines that are in place for a reason. It's not just about you, it is about other people and keeping people safe when you travel back home and you go and interact with your friends and family. One thing I do just want to address in this video is I don't think it really helps pointing the finger at everybody. I think we're all human. We all make mistakes, we're all flawed. This is not a normal circumstance for anyone. Do I think that every person at these events is wearing a mask the entire time that they're there? No, I don't think that that's the case. I think that we're all human, and I'm sure that people pull their masks down when they're standing in their spot. I'm sure people are meeting up with each other when they're not supposed to. Like, you know it's gonna happen. We're seeing it play out in social media. Do I think people should be careful about what they post on social media? Absolutely. You have complete control about what you share from the event. One thing I don't think people take into consideration is there are a lot of us sitting at home taking things seriously who haven't traveled, who haven't gotten the chance to do any of these events, and it kind of feels like a little bit of a slap in the face, and not just for the drive-in events, but in general, like this entire experience, seeing people go out to parties, seeing people not give a and just live their lives and do whatever they want and not take it seriously, just honestly is a slap in the face to a lot of people. So I think specifically in this community, watching things play out online when you're clearly seeing people not paying attention to the social distancing rules, you're kind of just like, interesting. I would love to see this community come together, do better, lead by example, and just really think about other people in this situation. So the last part of this video, would I attend a drive-in rave? Honestly, I feel like there's so many factors that would come into play for me. One would be location. If I could drive to it, I would definitely consider it. Two would be the lineup. I just personally have not been a fan of some of the lineups. Some have been better than others. A lot of them are really heavy bass artists, and that's not my cup of tea. So I personally would not travel for a heavy bass or dubstep show. But if there were more house artists or things like that, like there was one with Green Velvet in Chicago, that is something that's more up my alley and I would definitely consider it. The one thing that makes me uncomfortable is like, I personally would stick to my car and stick to my space, so I would just feel really bad if anybody wanted to meet up or if anybody tried to come over to my car. I would just hope that everybody can respect your space, and again, I think people will follow what you do. So if you wear a mask and you stand 6 feet apart, I think they'll kind of pick up on that from you. So that's the only thing that makes me nervous is I feel like I would just definitely be overly cautious attending one of these events. In conclusion, you guys, for my little hot take on drive-in raves, we are very, very lucky that we have these shows. They should not be taken for granted because they could be taken away if people aren't following the guidelines. I think we should be so appreciative that this industry has been able to adapt, and they acted pretty quickly. Like Disco Donnie was able to throw some events in Texas. So I think it's been awesome that these events even exist and that they've been offered and people have been able to see some of their favorite artists during this time. I'm sounding like a mom now, but follow the rules. It's not that hard. Practice what you preach. Be a good person. Look out for others. Have a sober driver, 100%. If people are gonna be taking substances or drinking, definitely have a DD so that you're all safe. And go for the experience and for the love of the music, because that is what this community is all about. Thank you guys so much for coming to my TED Talk. I'm so curious to hear your thoughts and opinions on this subject as well. Please leave me comments down below and let me know what your thoughts are on these topics. Have you attended a drive-in rave? If not, would you attend one? I want to hear from you guys, so sound off in the comments. And again, if you guys are new here, I would absolutely love it if you would consider hitting that subscribe button down below to come join the family. and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this more conversational, hot topic kind of video. That's all I've got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back in my next video. Bye, guys.